All right, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. What I want to do today is show you a direct comparison between a channel that does $250,000 every single year and is making like $1,000 days consistently versus a channel that's making like $2,500 a year, give or take, okay? So I want to share with you the direct comparison, all right? So you understand exactly some of the traps that you're falling into right now, which are limiting your abilities to turn your channel from one that's making $2,500 a year to one that's making $250,000 a year. And there are some clear, direct indications of a channel that's going to be stuck and plateau at that 2,500, maybe 5,000 a year versus a channel that's able to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year on a more passive level, sustainable level, and predictable level. So this is the YouTube income gap that absolutely no one talks about and everyone should know, all right? So what does making $250,000 a year on YouTube actually look like? And why are 85% of Faceless channels stuck at earning 2,500 or less? This is actually like probably literally 85% to 95% are making less than $10,000 a year. That's not good. So let's talk about why that is. All right. So as you can see, some of these channels, for example, Medieval Discovery, Dark Mode Dreams, Wency Entertainment, these are all Faceless channels that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So this board here is going to break down 6 key strategies that are used by the top 15% of Faceless creators. And I argue not even 15%. Let's call it 5% of Faceless creators who turn single videos into revenue machines. The first section is what we call the framing effect. All right. It is not about what you say. It's about how you frame it. This is the key here, all right? Channels in the same niche with the same format can often earn up to 10x apart, 10 times apart. And I'll give you guys a direct example, all right? So we have Alux on the left. Alux is a very like household name channel in the Faceless space. They talk about luxury and wealth and finance. And there's another channel here, which is Chris Invest. Very similar style videos. But again, you can see the direct correlation between the views. And it's all about the packaging. This is the key thing. I'm going to give you a ton of examples of packaging and the importance of packaging, all right? Look at these two videos. So we have an irresistible topic and a boring topic. And it's really the same topic, but it's actually the packaging. And the packaging is consisting of the title and the thumbnail. That's what packaging is when everyone throws that word around. So an irresistible package is something like 15 things poor people don't know about money. Great title. All right. A boring one is this is what separates the rich and the poor. Now, the main reason why this is good because it gives people an indicative idea of how many, like what they're going to learn, right? They understand that these are 15 things that they're going to learn, which is understanding how rich people think, right? Versus the poor class, the rich class versus the poor class. How do they think? What do they know that I don't know? And am I going to gain something of value after watching this video? I'm actually going to gain 15 important key things that rich people do that poor people don't. Right? So the boring thing is, again, what separates the rich and the poor? It's way too vague. It's way too vague. I don't think the thumbnail is actually that great at all, to be honest. And it just doesn't really make you want to click versus something like this. You see the comparison, the before and after, and you have an indication you're going to learn 15 different things. It's well structured. That's why this one got 400,000 views and this one got 38,000 views. All right. So this is exactly what this channel, for example, does. Magnets Media. All right. They crush it with packaging. They have incredible packaging. So these are hypothetical videos here, but most people are going off and doing something like how Louis Vuitton was founded. Very basic, very boring. Versus, the homeless teen who created Louis Vuitton. Great packaging, great title, great thumbnail. Another example, somebody could come up and say how Nike was built. All right. Really, Magnets Media came out and said, how a kid with $0 created Nike. That's obviously a key thing here, like how a kid, right? It's very, very good, very well structured, right? So let's move on to the next section, number 2, addictive narratives. All right, how to make your video impossible to click away from. So now we look at the two videos underneath, and they both basically have the same framing effect, but somehow they have different amount of views. Because again, it's all about the way you frame things. So the first title thing here says, how IKEA makes you buy more, story of IKEA. Pretty okay. As you can see, average views, 6.4K. This one said the insane truth about IKEA. Because there's a combination effect here, right? This is a shorter title. It's much more punchy. The insane truth. What is so insane about IKEA? And then you see the IKEA effect. And you see a box full of money and IKEA, and you see all these different indicators as the blood, like are they doing dirty things? Is it dirty money? What is this? All these factors, right? Versus you see a face of a founder here who's not recognizable. It's not like anybody recognizes this person's face. Maybe the owner of IKEA, who knows, right? How IKEA makes you buy more. This is not really, again, giving me much indication, much temptation to click, right? But then we have something like the IKEA effect. Oh, this is something that people talk about. It's a something effect, like the Mandela effect or something more common. Is there something I don't know? Is there an IKEA effect that I haven't been aware of? I should probably watch and see, right? And again, like the blood splatter, the money, great packaging, and then the insane truth about IKEA, great packaging overall. So really framing does a lot here, right? Great title plus great thumbnail is going to get clicks, but the story structure is what keeps people watching. All right, this is the key as well. So it's not just about the packaging, then we have to go into the story, the structure, the actual framework of the video. So looking at narrative, right? The combination is called the curative, which is the conflict, the stakes, and the payoff. That's the key thing you want to remember when you're creating your videos. So tip here is to use a mini cliffhanger about every 30 to 60 seconds to maintain tension. This is a really good tip here, to be very transparent. If you're able to rehook people, right, mini cliffhangers, just as soon as kind of things start treading slow and getting a little bit maybe mild or boring, insert a mini cliffhanger. Let me make this even more red because honestly it's serious. Mini cliffhangers. I teach this to all my students. It's so important. And usually what we do is we prompt our AIs to insert these mini cliffhangers to ensure that, again, the pace of the video is just constant. It's always keeping people's attention. So we have curiosity, level 1, and then we have conflict, level 2, and then we have payoff, level 3. All right. That is the key structure of a really good video that maintains retention, that demands the attention, and it just converts really, really well. All right. Just don't make it feel like a lecture. That's the key thing here. And I've told this to all my students, and I openly talk about this as well. If you can get one skill, if you can be very, very good at one thing outside of being really good at YouTube, is storytelling. Storytelling is such an incredible, I'm not going to spell this out. I'm on my laptop. It's so hard. Storytelling is such a powerful skill to have, not only in YouTube automation, but really anything. If you could tell a good story, you could sell anything, right? So I always tell people, if you want to make a lot of money on YouTube, get good at storytelling. Get really good at building the tension, releasing tension. Like this is the craving, the curiosity and the buildup. Like if you can get really good at that and then portray that through a video format, you will make a lot of money. All right. Storytelling, key number 1. That's the most top high level skill that you can pull, that you can build, and the highest leverage lever that you can pull in your business. All right. The section number 3 is compelling visuals. All right. So why these PowerPoint style videos, they fail, and then the cinematic ones win. And now cinematic doesn't have to mean going crazy above and beyond with these like super flashy $50 a minute animations. No, not at all. All right. So cinematic quality versus poor quality. You don't need expensive animations. All right. But you do need visuals, visuals that complement the video, that complement the story and bring it to life. All right. So an example is like these productive Peter stick figures. All right. This is the productive Peter stuff on the side. You don't need to go crazy. Productive Peter is very simple. Most of it can be done in like Canva, to be honest. It's way better than stock footage because they make the concepts visual. All right. What you're seeing is an actual iteration of what's being spoken, which just brings the whole concept to life. And that is a really key thing here, right? If you can kind of mold the story and what's being said with what's actually being shown and show that cohesiveness, you're always going to get the maximum retention, the maximum conversion, all right? So like I said, stuff like this, like the visually boring slideshow, just one image, 2 images, sliding bit of text, it's not going to compare ever to something like an animation or really just putting some effort into some custom visuals, right? Always, always, always going to give you that head up. And again, that's what's comparing channels that are making $2,500 a year, stock video channels, to ones that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. So let your visuals carry the emotion and then match them to the story. This is the key. Now, section number 4, we have powerful voiceovers. This is another one, right? So why viewers are quitting after 10 seconds and they don't even know why. A lot of the stuff is because as a faceless channel, your narration actually carries a lot of what you do because you don't have a face. There's no face to carry the video, to carry the story, to carry the retention. And so because this is you are faceless, your voiceover is actually your entire personality, right? So a bad voiceover equals very bad retention, even with good visuals and script. Because a lot of people are also not just watching YouTube to watch YouTube, they're also watching it to listen. There's a lot of people that really prioritize the auditorial experience, right? So make sure that you're also really putting an emphasis on getting a good voiceover. A flat robotic narration will lead to an instant drop-off. A charged emotional narration makes it binge-worthy, right? But this also is depending on the niche. Some niches don't need this like super fast, enthusiastic voiceover. No, some of them need a very calm, relaxed, the meditation videos, some dramatic storytelling videos. You need more soft, low, melatonin voice versus the very high paced, very quick, very action voiceover. It really depends on the niche and the audience and who's watching. So make sure that you're also accommodating for those as well. Your voiceover is the glue. It has the pacing, has the tone, has the delivery. All right, so invest in these things because it's very important. It's a pillar. It's like the chair of a leg, right? So section number 5 is just overall creating a powerful brand. All right, don't forget that you can create brands from this business, from YouTube. All right, it is the one thing that allows you to get watched over and over and over again because people binge creators that they recognize and trust. So building a brand is going to allow you to become memorable. And when you're memorable, you're able to get repetitive customers, all right? People that come back, repeat customers who come back and watch your content over and over and over again. So what makes a memorable brand? There's 4 main things, all right? A consistent emotional payoff. If they know that whenever they watch your content, they're going to receive a specific payoff, an emotional one, they will obviously be much more likely to opt into your videos versus someone else's videos. And that all comes down to your ability to storytell, right? The second one is that the narration style is the one that they instantly recognize. So doing something in a unique way, creating your content in a unique way, which allows you to captivate them and create this like memory trigger that, oh, I remember when I watched that video or that person's videos, I was able to feel a certain thing and I want to keep watching them. That's why people watch Mr. Beast and all these other famous creators, because they know when they watch those videos, they're able to feel a certain thing, and hence allowing them to come back from a place of emotional comfort because they know what to expect. All right. This third thing is a repeatable content format. So again, doing something that works and repeating it over and over and over again. That's the key. So when you find something that works, you just keep on repeating it and delivering what actually works to the customers, the clients, the viewers. And that's the main key. So don't switch up your content all the time. Find something that works. And when you find what works, just double down. Keep repeating it so people can come back. And a signature packaging style. Find your own packaging style. All right, be unique to yourself. When you find a specific color or a subset of elements that works really, really well, keep doing them over and over again because it's going to distinguish you from the competitors and allow people to come to you because they know it's you versus, just clicking on the topic because it's interesting. Now, look at these 2 videos, all right? So they both have a unique style and it's obviously visible. There's 2 different channels. They're similar, but they're unique in their own way, all right? So another thing is also using particular buckets. So buckets are a really, really easy way that we use to just hack views, to basically hack the algorithm. We're able to leverage things that already work, kind of subset topics, and then expand on those and kind of extrapolate those topics and bring out more. So for example, we have the dark truth or the insane story. And let me actually pull up 2 channels here that have done this incredibly well when I say buckets. Let me show you exactly in real time what it looks like. All right, so take a look at this channel. It's called False Swipe Game. They've been posting for 8 years. You can see here 8 years. All right, so 8 years ago, they posted these videos. Let me show you what they posted. How good was Dragonite actually? All right. Then we have how good was Snorlax actually? Then we have how good was Gyarados actually? How good was Alakazam actually? Okay, that's 8 years ago. Fast forward to latest. All right. How great was Snorlax actually? Interesting. They're still doing the same thing. How good was Pangoro actually? Same topics. How great was Slowbro actually? So isn't it interesting how after 8 years, they're still using the same topics, but are they topics? That they are technically, but they're also considered buckets. The bucket was how great was ... actually. How great was insert something actually. And then somebody else found this and implemented it on their channel. How good is Peyton Pritchard actually? How bad is ... actually? Interesting. A bucket that works exceptionally well. Also, another one they discovered was what happened to ... What happened to ... What happened to, and these worked phenomenal. They worked really, really well, right? And then more again, if you scroll down, you'll see how bad is ... actually. How bad is ... actually. And if you go to Mr. Beast, you'll also see a very, very similar style as well. So if you go to his YouTube channel, you'll see very similar buckets. Very interesting how everyone is basically using these buckets over and over and over again. So for example, you've seen a survive 1,000 days trapped in a private jet. I survived 100 hours in a private temple. So basically I survived ... in ... right? $1 versus $500,000. All right. Then there's a bunch $1 versus $500,000, right? That's the key. These are buckets. A bucket is like comparing $1 versus this, or $10 versus this, or I built 100 houses and gave them away. I did ... and did ... Men versus women survive in the wilderness for $500,000. So you'll see, if you actually study this, you'll see his channel is full of buckets. He found maybe 10 or 15 different bucket ideas that work exceptionally well, and he just repeats them over and over and over again. That's how YouTube is done. You find your buckets, you double down. So the journey to understanding all this, all right? So first we have curiosity and suspicion, right? The initial phase of intrigue and doubt in the video. That's kind of the first point of intrigue that you cause in the video. Then you give clarity. It's the moment of understanding and insight. Now, this obviously doesn't relate to every single video, for example, like compilation videos, right? Anything with a story, these are the main peaks and troughs of a story. Then there's the thrill of truth, the exhilarating feeling of uncovering the full story. So now they're really at the edge of their seats thinking they're going to get everything. And finally, by the end, they give closure. And this is the key thing. It's almost like the same philosophy applies to the packaging itself, right? So if you're packaging something, you want to give the intrigue, the idea of maybe they have the answer to the video through the thumbnail and the title, but they don't, because if they did, there would be no reason to watch it, right? So you're giving them these like thrill of truth, thinking that they'll have the answer. They can kind of guess to themselves. If you have a topic, it's like, I think it's this answer, but I really have to watch because I'm really not sure. And the title is just it's very intriguing. It's very captivating, but I have to watch the video to understand the full thing. All right. So that's the main kind of peaks and troughs again of the video. So if you make your channel feel like a channel, right? This is the main thing, not just like a bunch of random videos. That's what many people do. They kind of throw spaghetti at the wall. They don't really single down and hone in on one specific editing style, one specific script writing style, one specific video style. They really throw spaghetti and hope something will eventually stick, which is not the right way to do it. It's okay to do it first to kind of test the waters and see what your audience wants, but eventually you need to find something that works. Double down. Keep on doing more of that. Now, section number 6 is the revenue octopus. Now, why large cash flow channels don't just rely on AdSense is because AdSense alone is fragile. All right. One bad month could be an income crash for you, especially if you're fully dependent on your YouTube income. So you need to turn your channel into a business with multiple cash flows, multiple cash income streams. So we have at the top of the funnel, we have AdSense, right? So what YouTube pays us for our views. Then we have the product. So in many cases, you're able to actually add a product or service. I have many students doing, e-com style stuff or, product-based channels, which they're selling either a product that they own themselves or they're doing affiliate, right? So they're selling other people's products, so they compare different, vacuum cleaners and different TVs and different systems and different headphones. And then every single product that they review has an affiliate link and they make a bunch of money doing that. You can also do affiliate, exactly what I just mentioned, right? So earning affiliates by promoting other businesses, other services, other products. There's so many different things. You can sell courses, you can sell ebooks, you could sell, literally products. Like I said, you could even sell plane tickets, right? There's so many different affiliate offers that you can get into. You could also make money by building up an email list. You could have, a newsletter, which you could send out, daily or, bi-weekly different emails. And in those emails, you can advertise other people's stuff and sell things or sell your own products in those emails. So building an email list is another thing, and also sponsorship. So once your channel gets big enough, sponsors will either reach out to you or you can reach out to them so that they can actually promote their products or services on your videos. And you can get paid $100 for a video, $300 a video, or $1,000 to $5,000 for a video. So sponsors will pay you very, very well, but it's all depending on how quality your audience is, how long you've been around, and really how niche you are as well. So don't just try YouTube. I think that's the moral of this video. If I really had to have one big takeaway, don't just try YouTube. You need to build this thing like a business. Take it very seriously. Really go all in and just try and understand all the fundamentals, especially like what I've taught you today. Take the time to understand this thing. Because the top creators, they don't just chase trends, right? They refine the systems. Every video, they see it like a product launch. It's like they have an opportunity for this product to absolutely blow up and go crazy, because every upload really is an opportunity to grow brand equity. And the more equity you have in the brand, the more you're able to internally turn that into a financial return. So make each video better than the last. And what I always say is 1% better each video. That's all you have to do. All right, guys. So if you want to do this entire journey on your own, guys, I have a free school community you guys can join. I've given a massive course with every single piece of knowledge that you need, all the way from what the heck YouTube automation is, to starting your channel, to choosing the niche, to picking the topics, to building your team. All of it is here for free. I even go live twice a week with yours truly. So if you guys are interested in actually getting one-on-one mentorship for free, you guys can just join this free community. And if you want to also, connect with other members, we have over 5,000 people that have joined this community, and you can see, other people that are creating channels, and you can talk to them. They can talk to you and ask questions. It's a fantastic place, a very safe place for people to come in and connect with other people. And if you want to accelerate the timeline and guarantee success in the next 6 months working with me personally, we've opened up 7 more slots this month. So if you click the first link in the description, it's going to take you to the free school community. And then the second link is going to take you to book a call with my team to see if we're a good fit, because it is a 4-figure investment to work with us. But again, we work with you personally until you're successful, and we also guarantee those results. So if you guys are also curious about which niches are getting demonetized and which niches to go into, my previous video, I highly recommend it. I think on this side or that side, I don't know where it's going to be. I really recommend you guys watch this. And if you don't, I'll see you guys in the free school community. If you don't, I don't know how to help you. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.